Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the translator website blueprint. We're literally looking at the exact architecture required to bridge global communication gaps in a matter of milliseconds. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. What does it actually take to build a seamless translator app entirely from scratch? Well, you're in luck because we're going to do a complete front-to-back teardown of this blueprint today. We'll start by looking at the initial user interface, and then, we'll peel back that layer to examine all the hidden machinery running underneath it all. It's really a brilliant example of how hyper-focused design meets super powerful back-end processing.
First up, Section 1, Building Core User Features. Because before we can analyze the back-end, we really have to perfect that surface-level user experience.
Let's actually walk through these core features as a little user journey, designing for absolutely zero friction. Step 1 is the text input. This demands a clean, intuitive area to handle both, say, short little phrases and massive text blocks without completely breaking the layout. Then we have Step 2, language selection. This requires a really easily navigable dropdown or even better, an auto-detect feature. And finally, Step 3 is the translate button. That's the event trigger that fires off our client-side scripts. It's just a highly logical, natural progression designed specifically to minimize cognitive load on the user.
But the blueprint doesn't just stop at the initial translation. It actually outlines two totally essential features that act as our why it matters bridge for usability. First up, a dedicated copy button. I mean, getting the translation is really only half the battle, right? Users immediately need to export that data somewhere else, and one-click copying solves this instantly. Second, responsive design. Whether the user is firing off a request on a massive desktop monitor or just using a mobile phone on a spotty network, the design has to adapt dynamically to maintain that seamless experience.
And this brilliantly illustrates the difference between basic utility and a truly exceptional application. While you absolutely must have standard text input and responsive layouts just to function, the blueprint also outlines optional pro upgrades that really push the envelope. Implementing features like web speech API integration for voice input, or maybe batch file processing for entire document translations. That takes the app from a simple utility to a seriously robust, professional-grade tool.
Now let's pull back the curtain for the next section, the engine room, essential tech stack.
So the blueprint specifies 3 core pillars for the client side. We're not just talking about basic rendering here. We're looking at a highly interactive structure. HTML is our structural pillar. It provides the semantic shell. Then CSS steps in for the visuals, handling our fluid grid and responsive breakpoints. But the real workhorse? That's JavaScript. We're relying on JavaScript to manage the application state, handle event listeners from our UI, and most crucially, execute asynchronous fetch requests to our backend without ever forcing a clunky page reload.
But look, even with a perfectly optimized front end, we aren't actually translating anything yet. Let's move to the next part, the brain, powering the translation engine.
So the crucial point is the translation API. This is the asynchronous bridge between the user's browser and the backend server. Basically, the client packages the text and target language into a JSON payload, fires it off, and waits. Modern machine translation models process these requests with just incredible speed. We're talking about returning complex neural machine translations in literally less than a few hundred milliseconds. It is the core service that gives the entire web application its true purpose.
Now, according to the blueprint, the architecture remains completely agnostic. This gives you, the developer, a choice of engines. On one hand, you might implement Libre Translate. This gives you incredible open-source flexibility, meaning you can self-host and maintain 100% data privacy. Or, on the other hand, you could hook into the Google Translate API to leverage incredibly robust enterprise-scale language support and massive pre-trained neural networks. The architecture simply requires an endpoint to ping. The actual choice of engine depends entirely on your project's specific constraints.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it ties the whole thing together. Looking at the complete architecture, we see a totally clean one-to-one mapping. The user interface directly maps to our HTML markup and CSS styling. The interaction logic, like managing the state and packaging that payload, is handled seamlessly by JavaScript. And finally, the heavy computational lifting is offloaded entirely to your chosen translation API. It's just a beautifully clean separation of concerns where every single piece of the stack has a distinct, vital job.
So we've gone from a blank page to a fully mapped out, totally responsive application architecture. You now understand the client-side user journey, the asynchronous data flow, and the powerful back-end engine required to actually execute the task. The structural design is laid out perfectly for you. With this blueprint in hand, the only question left is, what will you translate first?